Hey student, how can you improve your English study routine? Watch this video and discover the 3 tips I want to share with you today. Hey there, I'm Teacher Prix and I'm going to help you talk to anyone, anywhere, anytime in English. Make sure to subscribe to my channel because every week I post different kinds of English lessons to help you become a better and more confident English speaker. So consider subscribing, hit the like button because those things really help the channel grow. It helps YouTube understand that this is a good and helpful channel. So there you go. But here we go, how to improve your English study routine, especially if you're alone, if you don't follow a program, if you're not in my academy, if you don't have anyone to guide you. How can you have a more efficient study routine? Because guys, here on my channel, I help pre-intermediate and intermediate students to go from stuck to speaking in 6 months. And at this level, if you don't have a good study routine that focuses on different kinds of activities that include English speaking, even if you don't have a speaking partner, if you don't have a good routine, you will be stuck. It'll be very difficult to get out of this level and finally speak and understand English the way you want or the way you need. Maybe you need English for business. Maybe you need English because you want to travel. Maybe you need to speak English because you have family members who don't speak your language. So routine, okay? I'm working on the foundation of your journey. If you don't fix that, you won't get better. With my babies, that's basically what I do. This is the first thing we fix. And next week, I'm starting a workshop. It's the beginning. It's a warm-up. Stay tuned here on my channel. But basically, my students in my academy are successful because they follow a consistent study routine. All the lessons, all the activities inside my academy are carefully designed to help them go from stuck to speaking. They have a schedule recommendation. They have a habit tracker. They have all the English activities they need to do in one place. So organization is key, guys, if you want to improve your English. And I know that because that's my job. That's what I do with my students. But that being said, tip number 1, you are stuck at this level, okay? You're not getting better. Your first job, before we focus on the things you need to change in your study routine, is I need to assess the difficulty level. Many students get stuck at pre-intermediate for a very long time because it's too easy. They are doing activities that are too easy. They never go to the next step to challenge their English. So they stay in this comfort zone in their routine. For instance, I make videos here on my channel from Monday to Friday. I am here doing live lessons from Monday to Friday. Is this a good thing? Yes, but depending on how you use it, it won't challenge you enough. So you see, maybe you have good intentions, but the level of challenge is not high enough. And if you want to go to the next level, you need to keep challenging yourself. So you will stay stuck. And as a pre-intermediate, intermediate speaker, advanced, fluent, from now on, you must face more difficult activities if you want to go from stuck to speaking in 6 months. So this thing of, oh, but I listen to some music, you know, in the car. I play some games, you know. That's how I study, Teacher Prix. I'm listening to you, Teacher Prix, right now. I'm driving to work. No. Gotta assess the level, okay? And many times the students do this. They think, oh, I understood everything she said. Okay, but can you use it? I teach a lot of grammar, a lot of vocabulary, a lot of important tips here on my channel. More than 700 lessons. Do you review and study and put them into action? These are different things, okay? Now, how do you know something is too easy? I'm gonna give you some ideas that will show you, oh, okay, it's too easy. That's true. You finish too quickly. You pick the lesson in 5 minutes, you're done. You finish too quickly, it's too easy. Okay? Oh, but teacher, what if it's too short? Then we have another problem. It's too short. Okay? So you finish too quickly or it's too short, watch out. Okay? Another thing, you don't need to think much. There's no need to think much, you know? You go, you do it, and then bam, okay? That's it. You don't need to analyze information. It's too easy. You need to go to the next step to really, I need to think more, teacher. Give me some minutes. You will need to do this, okay? Another thing, it doesn't require much critical thinking. These are different things, okay? Just thinking, analyzing an answer, maybe to do an exercise, maybe you learned a difficult grammar point. That is one thing, okay? Fine. But critical thinking involves a lot of analysis in terms of giving an answer, writing something. So in speaking, when I'm having group conversation classes with my babies, I force them to use a lot of their critical thinking. Sharing opinions, sharing important emotions, important memories, comparing, agreeing, disagreeing. That's what a fluent speaker needs to do all the time. So if your routine does not require that, it's too easy. You need to find ways to involve your critical thinking, analyzing, disagreeing, agreeing, sharing opinion. That's what is going to help you improve your vocabulary, your ability to have conversations with people anywhere, anytime. That's what I always say on my channel. Another one, it is a quiz-based practice. A quiz-based practice. What is that? You do lessons only based on... I have no problems with a quiz, okay? With quizzes, it's okay. But if your study routine is based on quizzes, let me play a little game on the internet. Let me play a little flashcard game on my cell phone. Let me find a cool website with a quiz. If it's only quiz, not very nice, okay? And there are studies that show that quiz can make people confused, because answers are so similar and they end up learning the wrong answer, not the right one. I like quizzes. Next week I am preparing some quizzes. But again, understand what I'm saying. I'm not an extremist, okay? If your routine is based on taking fun quizzes and little games, it's too easy. Move on, okay? Games will give you that feeling, that false feeling that I am winning. Yes! But when it's time to speak, you can't, because that's not how the game of fluency works in real life, okay? Now, what do I do with my BSA? One example, my BSA, they have 24 recorded modules waiting for them. Every week one becomes available. And there, the level of difficulty increases every time they do a new module. So module 1 has one level of difficulty, level 2, level 3, 4, 5, module 4, 5, 6. Sometimes some students will find module 10 more difficult than 9, but in general, the level of difficulty goes up. But I don't stop there. I also give them live interaction, live workshops, and I bring more challenging activities, documentaries, movies, reading, writing, vocabulary, different kinds of vocabulary, and always targeting different skills, not just focusing on one. That way, I am challenging them. They have a fixed routine, and in the modules, they will find the difficulty level increasing. And don't be fooled when I say that you need to change the level of difficulty. That doesn't mean that you have to change your routine completely. You need to you need to establish a solid routine. And with the materials you use, with the kinds of exercises you do, you will increase the level of difficulty. So my students, they always have grammar, vocabulary, reading, listening, writing, speaking. In all the modules, they have exercises and recommendations. So the standard is 1, okay? All the modules follow the same standard. But the way I design the lessons, that changes, okay? Oh, but teacher, I'm alone. I'm not in your academy. Okay, no problems. It's good. I will give you some recommendations, okay? I will give you some ideas. But this is what you need to keep in mind. Okay, I will study grammar, I will study vocabulary, reading, listening, writing, speaking, pronunciation. How am I going to organize these guys and always increase the level of difficulty? That's what you need to think of. Some students, they pick a video that is a little more difficult than the usual and they feel sad. Like, oh, this was a little more difficult. So I will go back to the basic one that I was doing before, it was much better, teacher. No, you need to stay with every week. You need to find videos and sources that are a little bit more difficult. That's how you improve. I am constantly doing that to myself, trying to find materials that are a little bit more difficult for me. Now, before I move on, make sure to hit the like button. Yes, it really helps the channel. Subscribe as well. That really helps. And if possible, share. I know I repeat this a lot in every video I say this, but it's intentional. I have some numbers and reports that YouTube provides to me, and more than 50% of people who watch my lessons, like my videos, share my videos, are not subscribed. So support the channel, subscribe, and if you're finding this lesson useful and you need more ideas to organize your study routine, I will talk a little bit more about my study plan. I highly recommend my study plan cycle because it will basically teach you how to organize your study routine more efficiently so that you know how to study and how to use the internet in your favor. Because how do you find good materials? How do you organize them during the week to study? Well, you learn that in my study plan cycle. But let's keep going. Number 2, okay, now we get into the good stuff. First, you analyzed how difficult your routine currently is. Oh, teacher, yeah, it's true. It's a little easy. I need to do more difficult things. I need to focus more, to spend a little bit more time on my routine. Okay, I'm not doing audio exercises. I'm not reading. I'm not writing. Okay, so I need to include a little bit more of that. Good. You analyze that. That's personal. You need to do it. Okay. The second thing is organizing the study routine. Okay. Basically, I will recommend the same thing I recommend my babies. So pay attention. I'm giving you a recommendation that I give my babies. 3 to 5 times a week. That's how much you're going to study. Oh, but teacher, I can study every day. Oh, good for you. Well, congratulations. You are awesome. But based on my professional experience, 3 to 5 times a week for adults who are busy, who have a life, who have to work, who have family, who have other priorities, 3 to 5 times a week will be more than enough, okay? Teacher, I'm an adult and I'm not busy. I don't have kids. I have a lot of free time. I'm good. Go nuts, okay? Do as much as you want to. So different realities, okay? Now, on each day, you will focus on one predominant skill and in addition, 1 or 2 supporting skills. So today's day 1 of the week. I'm going to study. I will focus on one predominant skill. Today is vocabulary day. Today, that's the focus, vocabulary. That's the predominant one. In addition to the predominant one, I will focus on 2 more. These are the supporting skills that will support the predominant one. That's what you need to think of when you're thinking of your study routine, okay? So for example, you can dedicate one day. That's why I say if you have more time, 5 times. If you don't, well, what are we gonna do, okay? So you can dedicate one day to vocabulary, a predominant skill, vocabulary, grammar, reading, listening, speaking. You will need to make this decision, okay? So one day for listening, that's the predominant skill. So today is listening, the focus is listening comprehension. And then you will add 1 or 2 more skills to complement the experience, okay? How do we do this? For example, vocabulary. You can focus on vocabulary. That's the predominant skill today. Then you will add writing and speaking. But guys, when I say writing, I'm not saying you're going to write one phrase, two phrases. No, you're going to write. Okay? Let me show you. Where is it? Okay. I will show you one example that I had. Oh, I'm almost finishing with modal verbs, okay? Da-da-da. Okay, so here, I don't know if you guys will be able to see it. No, you won't be able to see it. So all the blue is the grammar explanation. And the red are the examples. Well, some examples are in blue as well. But I created some examples in red. You can't see. No, the examples are in red or in blue. Pieces will go. No, I wrote the examples in both colors, okay? But what am I trying to say here? I wrote explanation and examples, explanation and examples, explanation and examples. So the focus was grammar. But I wrote 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 on the same day. 6, 7, 8, 9 pages. Focusing on grammar, but writing examples. Why? Because the predominant skill was grammar. I was reviewing grammar, a grammar point. But I added writing. And as I added writing, I didn't do a grammar drill. Oh, complete the phrase. No. I wrote examples with the modal verbs, using them in the situations that I was reviewing. So the focus was grammar, but I used the supporting skill writing, okay? Oh, on this day, I didn't include another one. I only focused on grammar and writing and creating my examples. So that was it. So my focus was grammar. That was the predominant one, and I added writing. I wrote 9 freaking pages, okay? So when I say that I do what I teach, I really do what I teach. And I know it works. And the students who follow me and listen to me, they see the results. So this is something that you should be doing in your study routine, okay? And guys, this is basically what I teach my students to do in my study plan. In my study plan, I give a step-by-step process with examples of activities and exercises you can do so that you can finally implement a study routine. For example, if you want to add a TV series day, how do you do it? Well, I show in my study plan cycle. You know, speaking is another very important thing. You can have a predominant day for speaking. I like to include speaking in all my practices, okay? When I'm studying, when I am with my BSA, I give this recommendation to them. I practice my English speaking alone. So when I am sitting down to study, I always include speaking. Sometimes as the most important one, the predominant one, and many times as a supporting one. So I listen. Today is listening day. When I do listening day, I usually focus on writing and speaking, okay, as supporting skills. So I really write. I write down everything I understood. I write my opinion about it. I agree, disagree. And when I finish that, then I go to speaking and I really discuss. I use my critical thinking in English, my ability to express myself about the subject. I start with describing what I listen to, and then I move on to opinion, to detail, to my stories. Maybe I have something to add. And that will involve my critical thinking. That will involve grammar, vocabulary. You are using all these skills. So that is something that I would do. And on speaking day, especially if you're alone, if you don't have anyone to help you with this, I recommend answering questions. You will pick one subject. You can easily find questions on the internet. Conversation questions in English per subject. Conversation subjects, questions in English. You will find many. And you pick 5, 6, 7 questions and bang, you answer. Not reading. It's not about reading. But answer the questions. Why, no, disagree, agree, tell a story, share. This is an amazing speaking practice, okay? So if you're interested, I know this study plan cycle will be very helpful for you. And finally, establish a review day. A good study routine will always include a review day. Now, reviewing. Sometimes the students are like, okay, so what do we do? Okay, what do we do to review? A good study routine means you're going to review your notes. You're going to write information down again. You're going to check the words you learned, listen to the same audio files again, read the article you read one more time, because in a good study routine, every week you read something new. Or maybe every 10 days. You will need to define the frequency you study. So if you study 3 times a week, maybe to finish the cycle of doing all the activities. That's why I call my study plan cycle, okay? You need to follow a cycle. Some students will need 5 days. Some students will need 10 days. Same thing in my academy. Every week I make one new module available, but some students need 10 days to finish the cycle. Some students need 15 days because they study less frequently. They need a bit more time, or simply because they need more time to finish. So you will need to define that. But you finish the cycle. You studied all the skills of the week, of the cycle, then you will review. So you will read the article one more time. You will go over the words you study. You will listen to the audio file. Maybe you listen to a specific audio file. You will listen to it again. And don't focus on finishing fast. It's not about finishing a lesson quickly, but it's about enjoying the process and really making progress. That's why we're here, you know? Don't focus on finishing too fast, okay? I hope you enjoyed this lesson. Make sure to subscribe, share this lesson with a friend, and all the information you need about my study plan or my listening mastery workshop will be found in the description of this video. Thank you so much, and I'll see you next week. Bye-bye.